This test is ambient audio, low light. All right, so we got our Sony a5100 camera test. As you can hear, there are a bunch of cars coming by. I'm taking my closing break right now at work, and the lighting isn't necessarily the best, but we should be having some pretty nice autofocus right now on my face because I'm using my Sony lens as opposed to the Canon 50mm lens. Thank you, Karina, for giving me the tip she gave me earlier today. If you're watching this, it would have been the tip she gave me last week about necessarily why the autofocus wasn't the best with the Canon lens, with the adapter, and all that stuff. So thank you. Low light looking like we're fine. I'm not sure if what we got over here is too overexposed. It's been a not so bad day at work, but definitely tiring. Let's see how it sounds with the wind right there. I'm gonna get some B-roll and let's see how that looks. Specifically in this lighting situation, we'll probably get a little bit more when I come out of work. That's not important. Boom. So this is gonna be a little bit sort of a mini test of our vlogging capability here. I'm walking around with the camera. Hopefully it's not looking too bad. We're gonna see how the shot looks here. Again, I'm using my 16-50, so we've got that nice wider shot. I can hold the camera right in front of my face and we can do some stuff like that. Autofocus is on point. What are you talking about? I am filming for next week's video and I don't appreciate your ridicule. If I want to stand here and I want to hold a camera up in front of my face, I don't want to hear no from you, all right? See if I can get a little bit in the light here. Not looking too bad. It's about 1:30. I just got out of work and this is what we're kind of looking like in low light. We got the light behind us. Let me see if I can do a cool dramatic. Kind of comes behind. Yeah, I don't know. Long day. Gonna be a long night. Gonna be a long week. Gonna be a long life, to be completely honest with you. All right, welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be finishing up our camera test for the Sony a5100. It is Tuesday now. It's Tuesday, and let me tell you, the last couple days have been nothing short of a roller coaster. I woke up today not in the best of mood. Morgan, I wanted to say sorry. Like I said, I was just in a pretty mood, and I apologize for that. I was originally gonna have Morgan here with me, but I kind of screwed that one up. So that kind of sucks. Today we're going to be finishing up our test for the Sony a5100. We're going to be doing some more vlogging shots like this. I want to get some dynamic range tests. Now that I have the 16-50 Sony lens on here, I want to test the autofocus and really see how we're doing with that. Right now I'm pretty good in focus, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera down and I'm going to do some shots where I am walking towards and walking away from the camera, and we're going to be looking at some stuff like that. Let me go take a look at my notes, see if I have anything else. Vlog shots, autofocus test, dynamic range. We're also going to be getting some shots where we're going to be testing the dynamic range to really get some shots where we have a nice contrast between light areas and dark areas and see how well the camera captures that. But with that being said, guys, let's get going. Here's going to be our first autofocus test. I figure we've got some space back here where I can try and weave myself in through the trees, and we'll see how well I am tracked. pretty overcast today. Definitely not optimal filming conditions. I would have liked for there to be maybe a few less clouds in the sky, but you know, we got to work with what we got. I think this is a really good opportunity to see how the sensor captures light and to see how it can pull out detail from shots that aren't necessarily the most optimal of shots. It seems like autofocus is tracking pretty well. I'm gonna need to look at the footage when I import it into my computer, but first impressions from looking at it on the camera, it looks good. Dynamic range, honestly, I couldn't give you a possibility on that. I definitely like how this camera is looking for vlogging shots. I think it works, especially with that flip-up screen. Oh, love the flip-up screen. It is probably my favorite part about this camera. I think what I'm gonna do now is walk around the park, probably get some more B-roll, and then I'm gonna go get myself some food. So I do believe that is going to do it for the camera test this week, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching, and wait a minute. I'm going to sign off without even having looked at the footage first. How about let's let me back at home let you go. Okay, now that we've got ourselves edited up to that point, let's talk about what we've seen. So we started off the video with our low light and our ambient audio tests, is what we'll call those set of clips. As far as the low light performance, what I noticed was the performance was fairly poor. Now I think that we could have tuned the performance to be a little bit better if I turned up the ISO a little bit or if I lowered the aperture, but I don't think I could have lowered the aperture on this lens. I want to specifically talk about shutter speeds, because about 20 minutes ago I was in the middle of editing and I started playing with the camera because I wanted to see how, I wanted to become more familiar with using it in manual for setting up these shots. So I threw it into manual and I figured out how to adjust the shutter speed and kind of how to pull some better footage out of that, because this is the kind of footage I was getting when I was shooting in manual before. Not very good. You can see the blur. There's a lot of blur with movement, and that's just because the shutter's not doing its thing quick enough to be able to capture movement. It's slower, so it's capturing less information. This camera allows me to shoot in a file format. I think it's AVEC, SHD or something like that. Now that allows me to either move it down to 24 or I can shoot in 60 frames for some possible slow motion. The only hindrance that I can see to that is my hands are pretty unsteady, if you will. I'm gonna need to get some type of stabilizer. The autofocus. Now the autofocus bit we did with the trees, watching that, it looked very good. I was in focus most of the time. As far as our dynamic range, it was okay. It was not very good. We saw those shots specifically with the path. The darks were kind of melded together when the focus was on the brighter green color from the trees. So it's definitely passable, but not. Oh, my back. I have this knot in my shoulder and it's really annoying. I'm just sitting here and I can't sit comfortably. And that's all I got as far as the testing that we did. As far as if we want to throw up a fun test, I had so much fun filming this video and making it the past couple of hours that I've spent on it. And I hope that you guys really enjoyed watching it. Let me know if you did down in the comments below, or by hitting that like button if that's more your thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Remember, videos always go up on the channel Thursdays at noon Eastern time. That is going to do it then for the camera test. That is going to do it for the Sony a51 cam. So that is going to do it for the camera. So that is going to do it for the Sony a5100 tech. That is going to do it for the Sony a5100 camera test. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.